It is almost 2025, y'all. That means more new cars are headed to the market, more updates, more redesigns, more new technology, and that is the story here in the 2025 Chevrolet Suburban. For 2025, the Chevrolet Suburban is everything that we love in the Suburban and then some. There's new technology, a few new design details, some great new features, and everything that we see on the Suburban we'll also find on its slightly smaller but almost identical Tahoe. In fact, let's talk about Tahoe and Suburban. It's important to know the difference between the Suburban and the Tahoe, and that's because they are essentially the same car, except for the Tahoe is smaller. It has a much smaller cargo area, about half the cargo space that you have in the Suburban. And it also carries about a $3,000 lower price tag. Other than that, they are identical. The interiors, the exteriors, the details, the features, how the seats work, seating capacity even is exactly the same in the Tahoe and the Suburban. It's just large or larger. That's really the only choice. Be sure to follow along on all of our social channels, subscribe here to YouTube, and if you see a video pop up in the corner, we put that there because it's a competing vehicle, it's a similar vehicle, but we think since you're watching this, you're gonna like it. So I'm out here talking about the Chevy Suburban, but I gotta show you where I am. We're in the stockyards in Fort Worth, Texas. And this is incredible. So it's really beautiful. There's a lot of really great history here. It's really fun. All I want to do really is go put on some boots and eat some tacos and go dancing. And I wish I could do that, but no, I am not going to walk away from the Chevy Suburban. For 2025, the Chevrolet Suburban has some changes that will make it a little more iconic. You'll notice this sort of double grille here with the chrome bar and the Chevy badge there in the middle. There are new headlights and daytime running lights, and in a classic GM design style, they sort of frame that front grille and the front bumper. You'll see new wheel designs here, and ours are in a bright chrome. You'll see the Suburban name there on the side, and even little details like the body colored handles that are framed in chrome. We have chrome roof rails, and on the rear end, we have iconic new Chevy Suburban taillights. You'll also see the Suburban name there spelled out across the rear. The Premier name, that is the trim that we're driving there. There's a cutout there for a towing package, and we have quad exhaust tip. Here's the thing about driving a big family truck like this one. You feel good. You feel in command. You have a really high, they call it a command position. You're seated high above traffic. You are at eye level with other trucks. You're not looking at tailpipes and staring into headlights. And you fit the road. In fact, in some roads might be the same size as the road, but you really do feel in command. And that is a priceless and precious thing, especially when you have precious cargo in the back. You want to feel like whatever the road throws your way, you can handle it. And that is the feeling in the Chevy Suburban. Now, also that's the feeling in the Chevy Tahoe, which if you don't need the extra space, you can save the fuel economy, you can save the size, and you can save about $3,000 by opting for the Tahoe rather than the Suburban. But either way, you still have that V8 engine, you still have a lot of torque, a lot of horsepower, and a lot of power underfoot when you tap that accelerator. And then of course, you have all the great driver assistance safety features that help you drive a little bit better. There's a little rumble in the seat. They call it a haptic feedback system. But when you are, say, crossing over the center line, or there's something coming up behind that you're backing up towards something that might be a danger to the vehicle or to you or to others, then it gives you a little rumble. You can kind of feel it on the side of the seat. And that is a great feature. I really like that. Now you can turn off the sensors if that's driving you crazy, but it's a great thing to have, especially in an unfamiliar parking lot or an unfamiliar place that you're not used to driving. I have my key in my hand. As I approach, the Suburban should unlock. And the running boards extend. On the interior, you'll see some really nice greetings. So you'll see the Chevrolet name, the Chevrolet bow right there. And now I'm going to turn it on. So this has that really nice throaty V8 startup. I will say I've been driving around in this car all day. There's a lot of power. It's really comfortable. And then look at this interior. So this dashboard has been completely redesigned for the 2025 model. You'll even see there's this really pretty wood trim here, nice leather, soft touch materials, leather-like soft touch materials here, leather on the door panels, the armrests, and then of course, leather seating for all 7 seats in this car. The big news for 2025 though is this digital driver display here. You've got a 10-inch screen here. It is customizable. You just tap this little button here on the steering wheel and you can toggle through different views. If you want full map view, you can have that. You can get the tri view, or you can get a more minimalist view that just gives you your speed limit and then basic information there along the bottom of the screen. The other thing that's big for this year is this, and it is this large 17-inch multimedia screen here that is customizable, and then it has a lot of different view options. So if I don't want to see the map, I can just tap the home button. I get all the apps. There's a quick control button here. I can tap that to see more controls, or I can go back to, this is where you're going to adjust the head-up display, the rear camera, if you want to see that. There's also a quick access to that from this toolbar up here. And then you can customize this screen. So I want to show you how you do this. So say that you don't really want the games there, but you do really want, let's see, auto park assist, because maybe you use that a lot. So all you do is click and drag the same way that you would on your phone, on a tablet. And these are features that we've gotten really used to on our devices, and now it's something we can have on our Chevrolet Suburban. Another thing that I want to show you, which is there are a lot of things here. So some apps that we're used to having on our phone, Waze and Spotify and Google News. But I want to show you this. And this is your vehicle settings. And this is a really important group of settings that are important, because this is where you're going to customize a lot of things and you're going to solve a lot of problems in this menu setting. So for instance, that Super Cruise lane change that we're using, if I don't want the automatic lane change, I can actually turn that off, or I can turn it to, it only works when I put on the turn signal, or I can turn it off if I don't want that. I can also decide if I want this on or not. So front pedestrian braking, I actually can turn that off if I decide that I don't want it. And maybe if you live in a beach town and it just keeps giving you, it's on the brakes all the time and you want to turn that off, you can do that by just tapping that. Button and going to those settings. You can turn on or off buckle to drive. This means that you will not be able to put the car into gear unless all seat belts are buckled, especially the drivers. There you can customize your audio settings. So a lot of things here. Turn signal activated view. I'm not sure I know what that is, but I'm going to try that one out. You can set comfort and convenience system, so you can actually turn down the chime volume. If you think that's too loud, you can turn that down. You can turn on or off the hands-free storage access. That is the lift gate, so you can turn that on. I'm going to turn that on. Reverse tilt mirror, so I have it, I can turn it off or I can turn on passenger and driver. And now when I put it in reverse, the driver and the passenger side mirrors will tilt to give me a view of my rear wheels. I love that feature. So what else do we have here? Comfort and convenience, there's a lot of stuff in here. Rain sense wipers, I can turn those on. Auto sense wipe in reverse gear. What this means is when you put it in, if it's raining and you put it in reverse, that rear windshield wiper will come on. That's a great thing. So here's something I really appreciate in the Tahoe, and that is, I need to know if I can go through that spot. That looks very tight to me because there's a truck parked there and a truck parked here. But I can actually look at this forward-facing camera and see how to angle through this spot, and I can see just how close I am to that pickup truck there and how close I am to the delivery truck there, and find the perfect way to angle through a tight spot. So there are a lot of really great features in here. When you first get your Chevy Tahoe or Suburban, if you decide to buy one, the first thing I recommend that you do is go into your settings and see what features you have that you can customize. Maybe even snap a few photos of this. So if you have a question, you can look and see, oh yes, it was in that menu. Also notice on the touch screen that there is a fixed bar of climate settings here. So these climate settings don't move. This is where you're going to find heated and cooled seats. You can do things like set airflow, you can set fan speed, and that kind of thing. You can set temperature. And if you don't want to do that on the screen, or you have the screen off, you can also do that here. There are quick access buttons here. Chevrolet decided that having these features here were really important, and so that's where they give it the redundant capability. I found that I have been going to these buttons all day. Over here, these buttons, and then also this space over here hasn't really changed a lot. We still have the wireless charge pad here, which is big enough to hold a full-size Pro Max phone. That's what mine is. There are 2 USB ports here and a little space here, which is a perfect place to drop your keys. And then there is an armrest here, which is pretty big. There's a box in here that has the wireless headphones for the entertainment system. And so there's plenty of space there. And then it does this. There is a button here on the upper console, and it does this. I love this feature. Not only can we push the armrest back, which it does make the armrest more accessible for rear seat passengers, but there is a little tray here, so if you need to pop something in there, you can. And then this is a great space to put a handbag. It fits my large handbag, and this makes me really very happy. And I found that this was, even though my handbag is large, because it doesn't really sit higher than the armrest, I didn't feel like it got in my way while I was driving. There are also little map pockets here, little pockets here. There's one on either side of this center console. There is a double pocket here. There's actually a little pocket here, and then another place where you could put a bottle or even 2 here in the door. And then there is this spot. That's a nice little place maybe to put a key or something, and then the door handle. Over here on the left side of the steering wheel, there are some key controls. There's our parking brake. Here are quick access buttons for our driver assist and safety features. So downhill descent control, parking sensors, lane keep assist, auto stop start, park sense, and our 360 camera. So if I want really quick access to that 360 camera, I can just tap that button and it pops right onto the screen. Down here is where we have 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low. So this is our 4-wheel drive control. Our headlights are here. And then this is where I'm gonna find my drive modes. And this little guy here, this is your 4-wheel drive. So I can tap this for 4-wheel high. You'll see there. If I put it in neutral, I can put it in 4 low. You see there it says 4 low. I can put it in 2-wheel drive, which is best for fuel economy. And then I can dial this for my drive modes. And so this is where I can toggle through off-road, sport, or normal. And pretty much I've been driving with it in normal. That's really all you need. But if you have it in sport, or if you're in tow haul or off-road and you would like to control the engine speed, you can use this, and really the transmission, because this is a 10-speed transmission. So you can use the paddle shifters to control the gear that you're in and maintain your engine speed, or use all of your engine speed by using these paddle shifters here on the steering wheel. Then there also is a trailer control setting here as well. This allows you to set your gain on the trailer control, trailer brake. And then I'm going to show you this, and this is over here behind the steering wheel. So there are these buttons here, and these are for controlling the radio station. So this gives you volume up or down, and then on the other side, these buttons here allow you to change the radio station. So it's just a toggle that goes up or down, and you can change the radio station here, searching up or down. And it's nice because they're right here on the back of the steering wheel where your fingers are. Our model, because it is the Premier Edition, also has head-up display, which is housed in this box, and then it has this, and that is a digital rear view mirror. So I can change the position of the camera. I can move it up or down. I can change this to make it darker or brighter. It's actually, you can see right there, I'm making it brighter, but it's really bright outside, so it doesn't really change things much. And then I can zoom in or out. So I can, you'll see over there, that's in and that's out. That's in and that's out. So I like that you are able to customize this. This is kind of a new thing. We haven't seen these customizable rear view mirrors. We hadn't seen them until recently. And it's nice to know that they can do that. I also love how bright that image is. At night, that is really spectacular. Part of the magic though in the Chevy Suburban is in the rear seat. So you're going to appreciate those running boards to get in and out of the Chevy Suburban. You're also going to appreciate, if you're in the rear seat, this sliding center console. Look how far out this is. And I actually don't have to move really to reach the air conditioner, air controls. There's a household plug right here, which is really convenient. 2 HDMI outlets, 2 USB outlets, and then there are climate controls. If I am a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old sitting in a car seat, I can probably reach that. If that's way forward, I probably can't reach that. If I have a bench seat and I don't want this impeding that space because I want to put a rear-facing child passenger car seat there, then I just keep it pushed forward. I really like this feature. There also is, notice this, rear seat entertainment. Not every SUV or even every minivan have this anymore. A lot of manufacturers have gotten rid of it. For most of them, it is an option. And so this is something that you can add if you'd like or not. Also, will be updated with over-the-air updates. So let's talk about these beautiful seats. Don't you love this light gray interior? I love it's light gray with this sort of dark gray contrasting material on the lower surfaces and on the ceiling. Anything where you touch is this really beautiful leather. Anything that might get dirty is the darker color. I love that because it keeps the feeling very clean and fresh inside the cabin of the Chevy Suburban. But let's talk about child passenger car seats. So if you do order the bench option, you will get 3 full sets of lower anchors and upper tethers or latches. And these are really easy to see. They're really easy to access. So if you have rigid latches or the tethered kind, either way, they're going to be really easy to install. And I haven't measured the bench yet, but I will measure the bench and show you how wide those seats are. But I want to talk about installing a child passenger car seat here. So this seat is set pretty far back for probably comfortable for someone who's 6 feet tall. And I have about 33 inches seat back to seat back. So from this shoulder to this shoulder, about 33 inches. Plenty of room for a rear facing child passenger car seat. This seat is set for me, and I have even more, 34 inches seat back to seat back. Now, this entertainment center is going to take up, this screen's going to take up about 2 inches of that space. So if your child passenger rear facing car seat, or if this center seat comes back a lot further, this may get in the way of a rear facing child passenger car seat. So that's something to consider. Maybe what you'd want to do is opt to bring tablets instead of buying the built-in system. And how wide are these seats for installing a car seat? So these are about 15.5 inches wide, actually. On the bench, it's about 18 inches wide, and then they are about 19 inches depth. So lots of space for child passenger car seats. And then we have 3 seats in the 3rd row. I'm going to hop back there and show you what those look like, and also show you the features that are available for rear seat passengers. One thing that's notable about the 3rd row, there is not a headrest in the middle seat. I hope that that's something that in the next update, when they fully redesign the Chevy Suburban, that they'll add a headrest for that center seat. Because if you are the passenger who likes to sit in the middle and extend your legs out, I know who that is. There's not a headrest, that's not really a safe place to sit. It is, however, fine if you have a child passenger car seat that has a headrest already attached or built into that seat. But if you need a headrest for an actual passenger, that is not an ideal seat. But I'm going to hop back there and show you what that looks like. So let's talk about getting into the 3rd row. There's several ways to do it, and if this is your car, you really have to figure out the way to do it that best suits you. So the first thing I'm going to point out is with this center console pushed back, it's going to be very hard to reach the pass-through. You can sit down and swing your legs around. If you're a really small person, you won't have a problem. But if you're an older person or someone who's not quite as flexible, this thing will probably need to be moved forward in order to reach the pass-through. The standard way to reach the third row is this, which is these flip and tumble seats. Now they do operate pretty smoothly. It was not difficult to flip and fold this seat. You just lift the lever twice and then pull this tab and the thing flips forward. Can't do this if you have a child passenger car seat installed. So if you do have a child passenger car seat installed, then you may want to consider simply pulling this lever, which is what slides the seat forward. It doesn't go that far forward, and this seat doesn't really tilt forward. You can tilt it forward a little bit, but really it's designed to completely fold flat, and it may actually it won't be able to do that if you have a child passenger car seat installed. So that might be a workaround for if you have a child passenger car seat installed. I will say it's a little clunky. But having said all that, I'm going to pull this forward and hop in the rear seat and show you what that's like. So I will say, with the flip and fold seat folded and flipped forward, or flip and tumbled forward, that does give you the most room to get in and out of the third row, but it's a cumbersome thing if you have child passenger car seats installed. So what is this third row space like? Well, it's actually pretty good. So this seat is pushed all the way back, and I still have a good 4 or 5 inches between my knee and the seat in front of me. I feel pretty comfortable back here. I've got these windows on either side. I have my headrest here, there's a headrest here, and there are 3 seat belts. There are no lower anchors. There are only the upper tethers on the back of the seat. So if you do install a child passenger car seat back here, it needs to be installed using the seat belt, not the latch system. Passengers back here also will find there are 2 cup holders, 2 little bins to hold other things like a phone. There's a USB port on either side. And then best of all, there are air vents right here in the ceiling. So that climate control console in the center can also control the... Hey Google. Google can hear me all the way back here, and that's pretty amazing. Hey Google, set the cabin temperature to 68 degrees.
Changing the temperature to 68 degrees.
That's pretty amazing, because I'm all the way in the third row and I'm not speaking very loudly, but there are microphones embedded here in the ceiling so that the system can hear me. So if your little guy sitting all the way in the third row, instead of yelling at you that he's hot and sweaty and needs more air, he could just tell Google, hey Google, turn up the fan speed.
Sure. Turning up the fan speed by 1.
And that's nice too. So not only will Google make him more comfortable, Google will also turn up the fan speed so he feels the air. Isn't that amazing? I love that. I love how sensitive and responsive this whole system is. But now I have to ask you, with passengers in the third row and passengers in the second row, how much cargo space do you really have? Well, let's go check it out. So I know you're looking at the beautiful rear end of the 2025 Chevrolet Suburban. What you're not seeing is me walking up behind it with my key in hand. And then all I have to do is stand here with the key and the lift gate will open. Now it does need to sense you right here somewhere around the license plate. If you're too far away, too far from one side or the other, it won't work. And it is designed not to smack you in the face or knock you over when it opens. But it's a nice feature. If you've ever walked up with a dog on a leash, an armful of groceries, or just being super lazy, this will do that bit of work for you. So what do you get in the cargo area? So this is the Suburban. It does have the larger cargo area than the Tahoe. You can see my rollaway bag and my tote bag are here, and I have room for probably, I bet I could fit 7 or 8 of those in here. So can I fit the Yeti? Yes. Can I fit the large tote bag? Yes. Can I fit the hockey bags? Yes. Can I fit, whatever it is I need to fit in here, I can. I also have the option of a 60-40 folding split for the third row. So if I want to put one side down to give them a little more linear space, I can do that. If I want to put the large side down, maybe to add a dog bed or a dog crate, something like that, I've got space for that too. And I really love all of the space. If you're a family who road trips, if you're a family who takes a lot of stuff with you wherever you go, you will appreciate this. Inside the cargo area, there are buttons here to lower the rear seat or put it up. So I'm going to do the right side. So it will actually put the seat up as well. And you can push the button to lower that seat. You can also use the button to lower the left side as well. And then you can actually use this button to put down the center row seat. It will collapse it, but it will not put that seat up. And this is what the Suburban looks like with the cargo space fully open. Then there is this. There is a very small, tiny little cargo space here underneath the cargo floor. That's nice. You can also remove this if you want to use this for like milk or things that might slide out of the back of the cargo area when you open the liftgate door. You can also do this, which is something that I just love, and that is underneath the N, there is a window latch. So if you would like to just reach into that Yeti cooler or just reach in and grab that thing before it might roll out of the cargo area, you can do that. Also notice, and I'll show you a close-up here, the windshield wiper is actually tucked in underneath the upper spoiler, and you'll see it right here when you open that window. So now we're on the highway, and now we can actually use Super Cruise. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on and show you how it works. And then I'm going to tell you why I think it's something that you should consider. So the first thing Super Cruise, if you don't know, is a driver assist system that allows you to use cruise control that is adaptive to traffic around you and allows you to drive hands-free on certain mapped roads. So 750,000 miles of mapped roads by the end of 2025, which we're getting to. And that includes some 2-lane roads, most interstates, almost any major road without traffic lights will allow you to use Super Cruise. The system will tell you when it's not available. But let's turn it on. So the first thing I have to do is turn on cruise control, and I'll see there's a white steering wheel here in the dashboard. And then once I have that on, so now my cruise control is on, then I tap the little steering wheel icon and I see cruise braking on, adaptive cruise control. That is Super Cruise. I also get this green light here, and this means that Super Cruise is active. I'll also see some green lights here in my driver assist system. I also see there's a speed limit sign there, and I can see that I'm actually going too slow for this road. So I'm going to tap this little toggle bar up here and increase my speed. Now, if you notice that we just changed lanes, as I increase my speed, the system, which has auto lane change assist, which I can turn on or off here in the vehicle settings, moved me into the center lane away from that truck because that truck was going slower than what I have set this adaptive cruise system for. So now we are cruising with Super Cruise. I feel like I just took the training wheels off. It's taken a little time to get comfortable with the system, to learn to use this technology, and you really do need to do it in baby steps. So learn to use these things, keep your hands on the wheel. If you don't want the lane change assist right away, turn it off. Even if I don't have that on, if I put on the turn signal, it will change lanes without doing it automatically. Now, it might not have done that automatically because it's a mapped road and it knows that there's an entrance to the highway up here, and maybe it's noticing that there's traffic over there. Maybe I don't really want to be in the right lane right now, and it might slow me down, so it didn't suggest it. But if I decide I want to be in the right lane, because maybe I'm going to exit the highway, then all I have to do is tap the turn signal, and it will change lanes for me. And now I've tapped the turn signal, and it's going to change lanes for me into the center lane, and now we'll ride along. And then if it determines that I'm not going as fast as I have set it to go, it will automatically put me over in the far left lane as well. So let's see if that does. Now it's doing it. So it says auto lane change. So it puts on the turn signal. It did a little braking actually, so because I didn't want to rush up behind that car ahead of me, and change lanes for me. Now I'm going to increase my speed just a little bit. And so now I'm getting used to this. I'm letting it do its thing while being prepared with my hands right here, my eyes on the road, and my feet also prepared to hit the brake or the accelerator if I need to. If I see something coming my direction and I want to avoid that, I can absolutely take over. And I appreciate the ability to do that. So let's talk about why Super Cruise is an option that you should consider. And I really do think it is. And that is because this is Super Cruise 2.0. And what Super Cruise 2.0 does is it allows the hands-free lane change, and it has the mapped roads to facilitate that. It is a step beyond adaptive cruise control. It is updated through over-the-air updates, and that means when Chevrolet decides that there's a software fix or an enhancement that they want to offer you, they just push it out in an over-the-air update, just like for your phones and your computer, and you will turn on your car one morning and there's a new app there, and the entire system can be updated through over-the-air updates. So it's not just Super Cruise, but that's one of the things that they can update. As your car ages, your software will continue to advance. You'll continue to get all of these advancements here and in the Super Cruise system, even though your car is aging. And that's a great thing. So you think about that 10-year-old car, maybe you've put your 150,000 miles on it, you are ready to get the newest Chevy Suburban, and you take it to trade it in. If you have the updated system, you have updated technology here in Super Cruise, and it's as good as what you can buy, or almost as good as what you can buy brand new, your car is going to be more valuable. You probably also will eventually find that systems like this will lower your insurance cost. They should lower your fuel cost by providing a really consistent drive experience. And then they will also reduce the stress factor. So this is really nice to be able to sit and drive with my hands off the wheel and talk to you, but eventually this car will talk to all these other cars. So while it's doing this lane change thing, I'm not going to have to do that at some point, because I will just decide if I want to be in the fast lane, the middle lane, or the slow lane, make a turn, and I will be, along with all the other cars on the road, driving at a consistent speed. So you think about those traffic slowdowns because a truck is driving slowly, or cars are driving slowly, and other cars are trying to get around them, and all the sort of nonsense that generates, that pretty soon is going to be a thing of the past, and it's systems like Super Cruise that's going to make that happen. The Chevrolet Suburban and the slightly smaller Chevrolet Tahoe offer a lot of features for families that need 3 rows of seating and a full-size truck, ideally with 4-wheel drive, which is not a standard option but is available on every model. You get seating for 7 or 8 or even 9 passengers in that base model LS edition. You get a lot of cargo space, or even more cargo space, and a choice of 3 engines. There's a V8 that generates 355 horsepower, a V8 that generates 420 horsepower, and there is a diesel option for those who want that. With new style and new features like Super Cruise, upgraded technology, and a lot of new safety technology, the 2025 Chevrolet Suburban, or Tahoe, is still everything we love in this full-size family truck.